Hello everyone and welcome to the Atlassian Community Roundup for the month of July. Yes, I'm coming to you from a different location. My normal recording studio is currently under construction as we're doing some renovations. I hope to be back there soon, but I didn't want to let that stop me from getting a video out for you all. There's a ton of things that have happened in July, so let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Okay, kicking things off, well, I don't actually have it here. I just want to quickly talk about a trending discussion that I talked about at the beginning of last month, and that was around targeted phishing attacks on Atlassian customers. That topic is still trending today, so my PSA for you all is please stay vigilant out there. Cybercriminals only win when you let your guard down. With that, let's dive into our announcements and highlights. Kicking things off with Jira July. While this is over, this competition was fantastic. There are a number of great things that they had here, such as the Riddle Cup, where you came up with a riddle about the Atlassian products, Jira Admin Appreciation Day, which was on July 14th, your starting lineup, which was using the Atlassian products, tools, practices, you name it, to build a football roster for a starting lineup, and then Jira Jams, which is a cultivated Spotify list. While this contest is over for swag, I highly recommend you go and check out a number of the posts that were on here. There's a lot of creativity, and the Jira Jams playlist is still there. If you have Spotify, it's worth taking a look. Next up, new letters of assessment are now live. Atlassian has had a third party do a security review of their cloud products, and the letters of assessment for each of the products reviewed is in this post. It's also in, I believe, the Atlassian Trust Center. If this is something that you care about or your IT/your security team cares about, go point them at this. This might be something that is required for your own internal auditing, so worth checking out. Next up, do you know what work management is? I'll be honest, I thought I knew. And then when I thought about, well, how would I describe it to someone? I realized that I don't know about as much about it as I thought I did. This is a wonderful post that does a great job of explaining it in a way that I have a better idea of how I would define it to people now. Next, in the topic of work management, the Atlassian University has made a new course available all about getting started with Jira Work Management. If you are just diving into it, this is definitely something that is worth taking a look at. It might help you get up and running. I will also just throw another plug out there. Fellow community leader John Funk has made a book on using Jira Work Management for business teams. It's available on Amazon. I highly recommend that book as well. Next up, Exploring Jira Features. This is a 4-part series, and I'm not saying that Jira for Product Managers is the best one of the series. It's just that this is the one that included links to all the other 3. This whole series is amazing. It's exploring Jira features from various aspects of roles. I recommend you go and read the whole set. I just included this one because it gave you easy access to get to all 4 of them. Next up, DevOps and Data Center. Craig's put together a fantastic post here about how you can take modern DevOps practices for cloud software and apply them to managing, releasing, and maintaining your data center environment. So if you are a data center customer, this is something you probably want to take a look at because it's going to help you take a more modern approach to managing your data center instance. Next up, you can't have a conversation about great information sharing without including Phil Fox, and he's put together a great infographic here, as well as a little bit of an explanation on it of how the Atlassian tools interact with each other and how you can get the most out of those tools by leveraging the integrations between them. Next up, when we're talking about people in great things, Tador always has great Confluence information. While this is just a teaser, it's a teaser for the things that she's going to have coming, talking everything about collaboration in Confluence. So I would highly recommend following this article for changes, updates, links to the series she will be doing in the coming months. And then finally, in our announcements and highlights, Dream Suite Mike has put together a fantastic article sharing how to do parent-child card linking within Trello. I am absolutely floored how people are able to pull so much power out of Trello on a daily basis, and this is definitely another one of those sorts of things. Obviously, there are some limitations that he's called out, but this is a full walkthrough guide on if you wanted to do parent-child relationships with cards in Trello. This is a guide to follow for all of that. Moving right along into our products and features updates. Starting things off is Atlassian Analytics June demo. I know not many people are enterprise customers, and this may not be relevant to a lot of people, but for all my fellow premium friends out there, taking a look at the things that they have added into analytics, this might help build that case for moving from premium to enterprise, possibly. It's worth taking a look just to see what Atlassian's doing behind the scenes on analytics. I know that my own company is teetering on that breaking point, so this might be something that your company's interested in as well. Next up, the ability to collaborate more with external users. So we don't always talk about Atlassian Access, but a new GA release has gone out where this allows you to apply security schemes in Access to users that you don't actually manage as a part of your Atlassian Cloud organization. So if you regularly work with some consultants who have their own email domain that is not a domain that you have verified, this is a way to enforce security schemes for two-step verification and API token access that allows you to have a little bit more control over those accounts. Even though they aren't a part of there are not managed accounts that you control. Next up, calling all admins, this announcement banner is for you. Confluence now has announcements banners. This has been something that I have seen in Jira from the server days for ages. Jira Service Management has this within the Help Center, and now Confluence has the ability for you to set up announcements to communicate more easily with your users in a product they're already using on a day-to-day basis. I'm super excited to see this roll out more in the future. Next, a new navigation experience is coming to Jira Line. I don't know how many people are using Jira Line today, but this is going to be a fairly significant change. When it comes to the cloud side of things, we're talking about having a new product guide to get you started on this, something that's not available on the data center version. But what is available on both is there's going to be a new top navigation, a new sidebar, a new homepage, and more information about architecture. I mean, it sounds as though this is getting a full facelift, and while I currently don't use Jira Line, I'm very excited to see how they're going to modify things to give it that more single look that we're used to with Jira software. Next up, Jira Work Management Premium. We've been talking about Work Management a lot in this roundup, and Work Management Premium has now been announced. So if you are currently using Atlassian Cloud Premium, you will already have access to all of these features because Work Management is still currently free. I believe until 2024, so if you have Jira software, you will have access to this. If you are still on the standard plan, this is something that you can look at doing a trial of. Right now, you will get overviews, and then you can expect to see approvals and more admin controls coming in the near future. I know I am going to be keeping my eye on approvals because that sounds very interesting to me to have that available in something outside of Jira Service Management. Next up, speaking of Jira Service Management, Assets now has templates in cloud. So if you are on Jira Service Management Premium, you will have access to Assets. I know when I started looking at them about a year ago, I struggled to get started because I didn't know how to build the object schema. They're now giving you templates so that makes it a little bit easier to give you some default object types and attributes that will just make it a little bit easier for you to get started. If you know what you're going to do, or you're planning on using the discovery tool to import your object schema, those are still available. You can create a blank template to start from. instead of having to use the custom things and delete them. Next, slightly controversial, at least for the community leaders, Advanced Issue Search has been renamed to View All Issues, and that is a change that has gone out as of recording this video. I know that there are some people who would have liked to see the language be a little bit more appropriate for what it's doing, but if you are not able to find your Advanced Issue Search to put in your JQL, start looking for View All Issues. That might be the reason you can't find it. And then finally, Atlas teams are now in Jira. So what does this mean? We all know that Jira had teams that you could create on the fly, add members to them. Atlas had something similar. Those two weren't really linked together per se. Atlas is now going to control those teams, and they're now going to be reflected in Jira. So when you create a team in Atlas, that same team is the same one that is set up in Jira. For all free and standard accounts, you will see that change now. Premium and Enterprise, I think there's a little bit more work to do to make that merger happen, so you can expect to see that later in the year. That's all for our product features and announcements. Be sure to also check out the trending discussions, the questions left out in the cold, and our automation corner. And I will just make this statement to the Atlassian team members who keep putting automation rule guides and how-tos out there. Please keep doing that. I love seeing them. I will keep including them. I think they're fantastic. And with that, that wraps up for the month of July. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed putting it together for you. As always, this is just a small sample of all the great content that's out there on the community for you to consume. So once you're done reviewing everything here, I highly recommend you go and explore the community and take a look at everything out there that's been posted this month. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next month. Thanks for stopping by.